Well, all that money I saved before the Black Friday sales for new releases, I've still got. So we're here with Jarret, and all of the distributors held out, and the sales are over. So now we get the good stuff.
At full price.
That's right.
At full whack until Boxing Day, at least in
Yeah.
Australia, that is not necessarily. I mean, the UK, but not the US. Yeah, no, me, I'm dead broke. I ordered everything under the sun. Look, I mean, I even ordered The Way We Were on 4K UHD. The one with Barbara
Yeah.
Streisand and Robin Redford. Yeah, I ordered that. It was 21 bucks on 4K. And look, I've never even seen it, but I was kind of like, I think part of it's set during the MacArthur hearings regarding communism
Yeah.
in Hollywood and
I
that.
mean, that's when
And
you
I'm
know.
like, well, that might be my jam.
It's when you know you've got a problem.
Yeah.
I ordered The Way We Were.
I had things like the
Yeah.
I had the things like the Cotton Club and stuff in my cart, and I was like, oh look, do I really need it? This film's I think almost 40 years old, and I've never seen it, and it's not that I didn't have the chance. I just had
Although
no
you've
interest.
got the director's cut now.
Yeah, well, that would have been
yeah.
it, the encore edition.
That's the encore
yeah.
edition. Yeah, I don't know if
Ben,
that makes going to make it any better.
If I were you, I would have bought it. But the trouble is, I already bought it, and it's in my cupboard of shame. Probably a year or so, and I still haven't got around
But
to it.
like,
In fact,
admittedly,
yeah.
the director's cut of Godfather 3 was a vast improvement. So like, it might.
Still have not got there yet. It's in the
Yeah.
cupboard of... No, it's actually... No, I sold the one that was in the cupboard of shame because I bought the box set that it's in, upgraded them to 4K, and it's in that box set. So, yeah.
I have to say, I don't understand why they needed a director's cut of Godfather 3. Like, I mean, I don't understand how 1 and 2 are so successful.
Yeah.
What did he fuck up that he got it taken away from him?
Yeah, I mean, and the fact is that the recut is a vast improvement. It adds so much context that why wasn't that in there in the first place? I don't know.
Not paying Robert Duvall the money he wanted, I think, was a big mistake.
Yeah.
Big mistake.
Yeah.
But regardless,
Anyway.
one day I'll check it out. But yeah, I look, I'm surrounded by some of them. For instance, I finally committed to picking up Repulsion on 4K because I got it for like 26 bucks, and I'm after watching The Tenant the other week, I'm keen to rewatch that one. Charade, which admittedly I have not seen since what was that remake?
The Truth About Charlie had the bonus
Yeah.
disc in the cover.
The bonus disc was Charade.
Charade.
But yeah, I think this was $21, and I was like, well, I can't go past the Criterion for $21.
I keep forgetting what a killer cast Charade has. Like, you just think of it as Audrey Hepburn and is it Cary Grant?
Yeah.
But
the leads,
the three kind of thugs that come after her are also all fucking great.
Yeah.
It's like a...
Great film. That's some of the good stuff I got, though. I'm not showing you the dodgy stuff. But needless to say,
Bad Moon? Did you pick up Bad Moon?
I already owned Bad Moon. I bought that on new release and paid way too much for it when it came out 6 or 7 years ago. That's actually arguably I probably would go to that before I ever went to these. For replay value, of course, because it's a classic. I think it was was it written and directed by Eric Reed too, the guy that did Body Parts? I think it might be.
I think it is,
That
yeah.
guy should have done a lot more. Anyway, let's move on to this week's release because there is so many.
Go for
I'm going
it.
to start with Roadshow, and from the Warner catalog, they're releasing Beetlejuice. Yes, we'll just leave it there.
Can I just say
4K
that I
Blu-ray and
watched
DVD.
it again on 4K and enjoyed it more the second time. I mean, I liked it the first time, but I did enjoy
I'm
it
going
more.
I'm going to take your word for it and never watch it again. I'll live vicariously through your experience.
All right.
That said, the 4K does have Dolby Atmos, as does the Blu-ray, and there's a pretty extensive making of on there as well.
Yeah.
It's not just a puff piece, 27-minute making of, but there are 6 featurettes as well. So, look, it's a pretty comprehensive edition. I mean, the commentaries with Tim Burton as well, which is cool.
Yep.
But anyway, moving on, another title from Roadshow is North by Northwest, making its 4K debut, Hitchcock Classic. This has got an Atmos track, which I'm really excited to hear because it's not typically something I would have expected to get the Atmos treatment. It's got legacy special features and one new special feature that I think sort of tackles the cinematography, sound design, and that of the film. It runs at about 23 minutes. But unfortunately, some of the special features haven't made it over to this 4K edition because it's just the 4K. So if you're a big fan, hold on to the Blu-ray, or if you're a bigger fan, import the UK edition where you get the Blu-ray, the 4K, and a bunch of tack. It's just going to clutter your house. And I would have bought it, but it's $80, and I think I'm happy to pay the 30 $25 to $30 it's retailing for locally. Another 4K UHD that's coming out from Roadshow from the Warner catalog, Blazing Saddles.
Uh-huh.
Again, Warner's doing another Atmos track on this. It's fantastic that Warner's actually doing all these Atmos tracks lately. They've done it with, Terminator and Nightmare on Elm Street. This is great. I mean, it would have been good if they'd done it when, Purple Rain came out, because if you ask me, that film really could have benefited from an all-new Atmos track. But anyway, I digress. Blazing Saddles puts most of the special features from the Blu-ray. There's a couple missing, including the pilot for the TV series, but it does have one new 20-minute featurette. I think it's about the sound design, the offensive sounds of Blazing Saddles. So pretty cool addition, and again can be had for like $25 to $30. Yes, you're going to say that's probably the least offensive thing about Blazing Saddles.
I was like, I don't remember. What are the offensive sounds?
Farting.
There's some farting. Now, Viavision Entertainment arguably had the best releases, in my opinion, this week. They've got the Never-Ending Story coming out on 4K. Now, this is like this ridiculous edition. It's like a leatherette-bound replica of the storybook, and it's 2-disc 4K, 3-disc Blu-ray. It's got the German cut of the film, which is extended than the original theatrical version that we know here that has the classic song in it. The German version doesn't. It's got an abundance of special features, including a feature-length documentary, Life After Neverending Story. And if you've seen Life After Flash or Life After Flight of the Navigator, same filmmaking team behind that one as well. Pretty cool edition, pretty pricey. Look, I might wait it out because I don't know if I need a book that's about yay big.
Yeah.
I'm happy to take sort of like a smaller sort of thing.
I think
and
this guy was a
probably
day
pay about
one.
a third of the price.
Did you get it?
No, I haven't got it, but I'm put off by the size of it.
Right.
Like the actual
It's quite
physical,
large,
the physical
yeah.
size of it.
Yeah.
I've got the in the cupboard of shame. It's only in there because it's disproportionately large.
Yeah.
But the Charm Book of Shadows, Danny's Charm Book of Shadows DVD for Charmed, and yeah, there's just no way that that's gonna make it on any of these shelves. Let's face it. Anyway, so that one's coming out. Another title coming out from Viavision, but via their imprint line, is The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. This one's coming out on 4K with 2 bonus Blu-rays. This is the global debut of an all-new 4K restoration that's been commissioned by Imprint and overseen by the director Stephen Elliott. It's got new and archival special features galore. They've really gone to town on this thing. They've licensed documentaries that were made for the ABC, which, never come cheap, as well as all the legacy special features that have been on the Roadshow, MGM release, and all number of other editions. But there's also a brand new interview with the director Stephen Elliott that this guy produced, and it is really meaty and good. There's a lot of stuff in that he talks about that he hasn't covered on commentaries and countless featurettes that he's done on this film. But anyway, that's an exciting edition that's coming out this week. Another edition that's coming out through Imprint, making its 4K debut globally, is A Bridge Too Far. This is a 4K plus 2-disc Blu-ray. Again, another Imprint commission 4K restoration, which is pretty cool. It's cool to see these guys doing this. Like I didn't mention, but the Neverending Story, the 4K restoration of the theatrical version is their exclusive as well. The 4K restoration of the German one, they sub-licensed, I think, through like Cape Light or someone like that. Actually, I think it's a different label.
Yep.
Out of Germany. So anyway, those are coming out. There's 2 other Imprint ones I want to quickly mention. Suspiria, the 2018 reboot, which I thought I was going to hate and I quite enjoyed. I've seen it twice.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I think I've seen it 3 times. I saw it twice on the big screen.
The only thing
and
I
once
didn't
at
appreciate
home.
about that one was the dual role with Tilda Swinton playing the old man. I didn't like that.
Oh, yeah, I got a feeling that it has been a while since I've watched it, but I think she might actually play more than the 2 characters. I think she could be a bit of like an Eddie Murphy,
that's my point though. Like, and
Norbert.
Yeah,
I
why
think
is
she
it
plays a
necessary?
few in
I
it.
spotted her in the old man, garb right from the get-go, and like it didn't fool me. And I'm thinking, it
Yeah, I
didn't
don't
fool a
know.
lot of
I don't know
people.
what
was the point
Yeah,
of
and
it? Yeah.
if there's no point, if there's no narrative point to it, and really he's not trying to save a buck by just getting someone to play, multiple parts in it. It just seems kind of
It just would have been more
I don't know.
authentic with a real old man.
Yeah.
Precisely, yeah. Doesn't seem particularly.
But no,
they could have
it
just
is
got-
good. It is good though.
They could have
But
just
it
got
is a pretty
Dario
cool
to play
film.
the old man.
I think the thing I didn't
Just come in.
appreciate about the film so much, not so much the score by Tom York, and I thought that was pretty damn good. It was
You mean
more
Thom
when-
Yorke?
Yeah, yeah. When his vocals, when you hear his voice, when he sings one of the songs, it took me out of the film because of the
Yeah.
period setting. It just didn't work for me. Might be because, I'm a Radiohead fan from way back. But anyway, that took me out of the movie. But this edition, fantastic 4K, 2-disc Blu-ray. The 4K's got the film in HDR10 plus a Dolby Atmos track. 2 Blu-rays worth of special features. This thing is loaded to the gills. It's got like new and archival special features. The most definitive edition of the 2018 Suspiria I think we'll ever see. So that one's coming out, and that one's actually really affordably priced. I think it's around the retail price of $100, which sounds expensive, but when you see the amount of content and everything you get for it, it's worth every single penny. Then the last one I'll mention from Imprint is Convoy, which is coming out, which love it or hate it, it's probably
Peckinpah's weirdest film, I
not
reckon.
Peckinpah's best film, but it is an entertaining film. One thing I haven't seen that is on this edition that's on one of the, because it's 4K plus 2 Blu-ray. One of the bonus Blu-rays has an extended cut of the film. I'm quite curious to check it out. Not that I think it could be vastly improved because it is what it is. Essentially, it's a film that was, made upon the premise of a hit song. That they adapted to a film, which is kind of odd. But
they're trucking across the
regardless.
USA.
That's right. That's all that matters.
That's I find it's a weird film, and I have to say I'm like 99% positive that the secret to making that film better is not making it longer.
Yeah, that sounds about right. All-star cast though, like incredible cast in this one. And I had the opportunity to do an interview with one of the actors that plays character Spider Mike, Franklin RJ, I think his name was. We did it earlier this year for the Studio Canal edition. And funnily enough, when I was looking at the extras that are going to be on the Via Vision imprint release, turns out that's going to be on there, which is awesome. So, hey, imprint, send me a free copy because Studio Canal aren't going to. My friends at Studio Canal. Moving on to all interactive distribution. Now they've got some bangers this week. They've got some new release and lots of good classics. In fact, the good stuff's the classic stuff that's coming out. The new stuff, not so much. We've got Speak No Evils coming out on Blu-ray and DVD. And my, general thing about this one is don't fucking bother. Just watch the original. Watch the Danish original from 2022.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's entirely, I'd say it's 75% in English.
I said it last time. For anybody that's not aware of the original and hasn't seen it, it's a perfectly fine thriller. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But have you the knowledge of the original? Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, right.
Yes. Now, this next release is one that really, I think, impressed you too, Glenn.
Yeah.
A really cool thriller, non-linear thriller, Strange Darling.
Oh, yeah.
Coming out on Blu-ray and
Like
DVD.
one of the best of the year.
The less said about this film, the better. All I will say is that, yes, the cinematography is Giovanni Ribisi.
Yep.
And it's really odd that the film opens with a title card basically telling you that this film was shot like on 35mm film or whatever. And it's sort of like, okay, cool. Is that because people might be upset going, oh, look at this grain. What is this about? What's this about? Or is it just like to give it an extra level of prestige? Now, you're about to watch a good film, but it's even better because we shot it on film. So
we did it the
appreciate
old
that
way.
before you go out and talk shit about this.
There's no doubt that
cool film.
that will rank in my top 5 at the end of the year. I just absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it, especially too because there's been some similar type thrillers coming out recently on Netflix and even Speak No Evil to a degree. And I think this one is quite exceptional.
Yep.
Moving on. So this one's timely. This is one of the classic releases, really timely. And I no doubt you guys are talking about this on this episode. But Jim Abrams has died. And the Zaz collection is coming out this week, which is like Airplane or Flying High. Actually, have they retitled?
Yeah, it's Airplane. It's Airplane on the pack.
Oh, it is just
and
Airplane.
I had only just published an article about Zaz and the history of Zaz, and included my interview with David Zucker talking about how Airplane got made and his reaction to the name change and his reaction to part 2 and all that. And then, like, the day it got published was the day that Jim Abrams passed away.
Wow. So you've got a bad run of this. It used to be you two guys would talk about someone, but now when you write about them as well, please
Stop writing, Cliff, for the love of
God.
God.
Write a thing. Yes. Yeah. If you've got to write about anyone, Bradley Cooper and Jeremy Renner and Martin Lawrence.
Well, we had a close call with Jeremy
you
Renner.
must have written about Jeremy Renner at one point. You didn't write enough.
It was a byline, damn it.
You used an alternate name for that one, and that's why he lived.
The Zaz collection. So yes, it's got Airplane, aka Flying High, which might be the first time that Airplane's been released under that title locally.
I think it is.
Every time it's come out, it's been Flying High in Australia. So
Yep.
we're finally saying goodbye. So that one's also got Top Secret. Now those two are making their 4K debuts, and as is the Naked Gun locally, but that one's been out in the UK and the US for a while on 4K. And needless to say, I already own the Steelbook 4K of Naked Gun. But I'm going to part ways with that because I'm going to buy this collection. I'm not going to wait for the individual release.
Speaking of Naked Gun, I'm very interested to see how this Liam Neeson Naked Gun pans out because the cast is actually really good. Like, there's some caliber of talent in there, and I'm like, one, why are we doing this? Why are we having a new Naked Gun? But two, Liam Neeson of all people, we know he's got comedy chops, but is he really a Frank Drebin?
He's pretty good in those episodes.
Extras.
In
extras.
I knew you were both going to say that.
He's in extras.
Yeah.
Got full-blown AIDS.
Full-blown AIDS. No, that
wasn't
part of our backstory.
I think if he goes for a more dry delivery as opposed to just...
That's why I'm so curious, because I don't think it's going to be like the original. I think it's going to be its own thing.
Yeah, and I'm interested. Now that he said he's not doing any more action movies until he needs some more money, it's good to see him do something less, because he could just go and do like a bunch of dramatic shit.
He's going to do the whole Leslie Nielsen thing where he goes from dramatic actor to like comical.
Now that
he's rock up in all these other.
I mean, let's face it, he's got to that age now. I've seen him in a couple of things recently where he's got that old. He's got old man thin.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's just like he's getting the turkey neck.
He's starting to look like he's got full blown. No, but I mean, and he spends.
Yeah, what a shame he wasn't in that movie Tooken.
Yeah,
it's just a parody of Taken. Like, anyway,
he spent the entire time in the car with Retribution, so maybe he's just getting a bit lazy as well. He's like,
Denzel's getting that look too.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I haven't seen the Gladiator 2. Look, to be honest, I don't know. Did you guys see about the re-rating that the film, got the classification for M, and then it had come out, and Paramount locally pre-cut it so they could get the M because it looked like it was going to get the MA.
Yeah.
So pre-cut it to get the M. It's out in cinemas for a week. And then there was, I think, a few complaints.
Well, there's a couple of MA
been
moments
reclassified MA.
There's a couple of R-rated moments in there.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they've
There's a nasty decapitation.
Given us the other version
and that's the problem. Like, the classification board are for sale. And anyone who says differently is a liar. Because I went and did the course there, and they explicitly said if there's a decapitation with blood spurting out of the stump, that is R, automatically R.
Yeah.
And yet magically, if you're a Hollywood film with a big budget, you get an M.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I don't know too. The version you lads, because you guys went to the preview, right? Mm-hmm. The version you saw, I don't know if it had been classified by that point or not, and as to which print they showed you, but I do know that one of the scenes that they trimmed down to get the M was the decapitation. Apparently, they did cut a few different things from it. It's still present, but it's not quite as explicit. But anyway, who knows? Now that it's rated MA, will they, which they won't, let's face it, put the uncut version, they may as well have got that rated, but maybe that would have got an R. Who knows? We'll wait and see. But at least we know that when it comes to home entertainment, we'll get whatever the UK is probably getting, because that's where they'll take the master from. So hopefully
I just don't understand, in this day and age, in Australia, why they think an MA is any worse than an M. Like,
I agree.
If you're going to see it, if you're too young to go and see it by yourself, you're going to see it with your parents, then they can get you into an MA film. That's fine.
Yeah.
And teens aren't going, by themselves. 13-year-olds aren't going like, I'm going to sneak into Gladiator 2.
Gladiator is not their movie.
Yeah.
This is a grown-up
14-year-olds actually want to see Gladiator 2, right? Or, for that matter, Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah.
The Paramount went and, cut to get the M. And you're like...
Yeah, why? I mean, I would...
If they would have said we cut it for time... It would have been met with a much better reaction.
I would have been all for it. I
would argue that even if you were to put a movie out with an R rating, you're going to attract a bigger audience, because there's something about an R rating that's appealing.
Look, it didn't.
It's a rarity, and that's like a draw card these days.
It didn't affect Terrifier 3 numbers.
No, that's right.
It hasn't affected the substance either.
And the Terrifier 3's core audience are 14-year-olds.
Are 14-year-olds? That's right.
Yeah, totally. So they're buying tickets to see Gladiator 2 to go see Terrifier.
To see Terrifier 3. Yeah.
So moving on, Afraid's coming out on Blu-ray and DVD. Have not had an opportunity to catch up on this one yet. Have you, Glenn?
I've interviewed the director for the show, but no, I haven't
As
seen
have
the
I.
film.
As have I. But didn't get to see it. I do want to catch up with it at some point.
Yeah.
Look, it is what it is. I mean, this is a perfect movie that should go for like 84 to 88 minutes, and I'll be happy, even if it's not great, because I'll just be like, oh, what a rare treat, a film that's under 90 minutes. Then the motherload of back catalogue titles coming out from All Interactive. So they're coming out from the Universal, the Sony, the Paramount catalogue. We've got Sugarland Express, which is arguably the one I'm excited about the most. We've got Gattaca, Breakdown, Gandhi, Scrooged, and Easy Rider. I think Easy Rider is the 55th anniversary edition as well, which is kind of crazy because
it just seems
it's
a shame.
An anniversary.
Like, I mean, look, Sugarland Express, great. Gattaca, I feel like it's been out a bunch of times. Like, it's a high school text, so they never let that thing go out of print.
No, it's never been out of print.
Like, it just seems that they're doing this, they're falling into the same trap.
Yeah.
And just releasing the same things over and over again with, new editions. Like, they're not doing the imprint thing where they're going, this has never been out anywhere. Let's release that.
I think they're just, because they've acquired the catalogue, haven't they? Like, is it the Sony catalogue? And they're just going to town with, getting stuff out.
It's just the same balls that their studio overlords.
This is interesting. How I was talking about that Columbia Classics Volume 5 box set that I bought, and it had the Little Women, it had the Greta Gerwig Little Women. I was a bit disappointed because I wanted the other one with Susan Sarandon and Winona Ryder and everything. Well, Sony's released that individually on 4K just recently in the US, and I'm kind of like, well, was it a production issue? Was this actually supposed to be in the box set, and then you decided to do the Greta Gerwig that you had access to the 4K master? Anyway,
we've already got 20,000 Blu-rays of this one. Let's just shove them in there.
Yeah, totally. And now I'm like, oh, bugger, now do I need that version? I do when it's $21. Nice next to the way we were. So, all those classics coming out. Now, quickly, before I get to some other good releases, bit of a rant. Madman Entertainment.
Yep.
They're releasing Paris, Texas, right? The 4K restoration. And they're releasing it on Blu-ray. So they've run this thing theatrically. And they've done a 4K restoration. 4K emblazed everywhere on the artwork. Oh, 4K restoration. Oh. And then they're releasing it on Blu-ray. And it's like, catch up, guys. Like, every other distributor, every other indie, and arguably you're probably, got a lot more, you've got your own ways of getting things done on the cheap and whatnot, and you've got a built-in fan base. You're doing these things theatrically, and then you're shitting them out on Blu-ray.
Shit
and on
the
that
bed,
note,
as they say.
They're also doing Leon the Professional 30th Anniversary Edition 2-disc Blu-ray as well. It's like, this thing's been on 4K UHD in the US and the UK, honestly, since pretty much the inception of 4K.
It was the one I bought with you while we were in the US.
In 2017, you bought that at a Best Buy in Austin.
And I can proudly say it sits there unopened on my shelf.
Yeah.
And I've seen it like 3 times since then. Yeah. And I just not since I got the 4K player and the 4K TV.
Yeah. 7 years ago, and yet Madman still feels that like it's fine to keep putting out a Blu-ray release. Anyway, it's dumbfounding. I hope they lose the license to some of these properties, because what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, if they're just going to do that, and anyway, I guess we can always import, and it's probably going to still be cheaper than the local pricing. So smarten up, Madman. Then I'm going to end on a positive note. Umbrella Entertainment releasing some titles this week. Won't go too big into detail, but they've got some new releases as well as some rep titles. New release titles include Bird Eater, which is pretty, like, this is a movie that probably deserved a lot more, a lot more attention than it got. Kind of just quietly got swept under the rug.
Really,
I mean, they did try and give it a theatrical.
Yeah.
Really unsettled and, frantic throughout. Like, it was, completely anxiety inducing and really good, strong Aussie cinema. Speedway Murders, which I haven't had an opportunity to check out.
I do really want to see this.
I watched it last week.
Is it good?
And yes and no. I got halfway through and had to turn it off because I was losing interest. So I'm going to go back to it. But the way it is told, because it's dramatically reenacted. It's a documentary.
Yeah.
The reenactments are done like a movie, and the characters themselves, the victims, help solve their own case.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
it's really
That's cool.
a different take on the whole true crime thing. And I was loving what I was seeing, but the story started to sort of get a bit laborious, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to come back to this when my attention's a bit more focused. But
no, definitely. I do want to.
It's a
I
real
do want to check
curiosity
that
piece
one out.
for sure.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, and I mean, Umbrella tried to give it a bit of a theatrical. I know it did the festival route, and I think they tried to
and
give
it's
it
an
sort of a
Aussie,
bit
it's
of
an Aussie
theatrical.
film that's just looks like an American one, like because it was all
Yeah,
set. It's
yeah.
an American story, all set with American characters,
And then shot here in Adelaide or something like that. I
so
think
bizarre,
Yeah.
but the reenactments are fantastic.
No, I'm definitely.
Makes you want to go
looking at
back
it.
to the 70s and have some burgers at
Have
those
burgers.
fast food joints.
Yeah, it looked. I mean, the trailer
making
looked
me
fucking
hungry.
great.
Yeah.
Pardon the rude swears.
What else have they got? Oh, they've got Sasquatch's Sunset, which is like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
They're. I don't think there's any English in
No,
it.
it's Jesse
sort of-
Eisenberg and
Yes.
what's her name? I've forgotten the lead actress.
Imogen Poots or someone. I don't
Someone
know.
like
Riley Keough or
Yeah,
something.
someone like that.
Yeah, that sounds about
I've
right.
seen
Yeah.
I've seen quite a few people like reacting to this movie
Yeah.
on Instagram in the stories, and they're just pissing themselves laughing at it. I just think I already sat through R. I don't need to sit through R again.
yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you too. This is like but like with top line talent, but and I think a lot more dick and fart jokes.
But also, you wouldn't know it's top line talent because you can't recognise any.
I know because they're completely covered under, and then you can't tell because they don't speak English. They just grunt and do whatnot.
Yep.
Anyway, that one's coming out, and Umbrella have like a really interesting edition, which looks similar to the quintessential cult classic, Get Him to the Greek, where it's a furry jacket and whatnot. It is. A bit of a mouthful, but it's great. Then in terms of other new releases that they've got coming out, Last Stop in Yuma County, that's coming out. And I've got a feeling, is that the same guy that did The Werewolves Within and I can't remember the other film he did, Thunder Road or something? I've got a feeling it might be him again. Yeah. Okay. And I think did you do an interview with him?
Yeah, because he did Scary Stories.
Yeah. Scary Stories.
There was the one, It's the one where Scare Me, I think it's called, actually, where they're in a cabin telling scary stories.
Oh no, yeah, I know which one you mean. Yes, that one, the one that went to Shut Up.
Yes.
Yes, I did an interview with him about that one.
No, I did Werewolves Within. I did the interview, but I wish I could remember his name off the top of my head. It was a really interesting chat, to be honest with you.
Yeah, fascinating character. Cool, sort of, bit of an auteur filmmaker. Yeah. Anyway, so that one's coming out. Rep titles that are coming out from Umbrella. Open Your Eyes, the original Spanish film that Vanilla Sky is based on.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same director who directed Thesis. Thesis was his student film, and then he went on to his first proper film was that Open Your Eyes, and then he got immediately remade by Tom Cruise, and I think that's the one that isn't that the one that kind of because they started going out, and I think was he still married to Nicole Kidman at the time, or had he just left?
He was with Penelope Cruz at that point in time, I think.
Yeah, but I think did they get together on that film?
Oh, maybe
because she's in it with Cameron Diaz.
Yeah.
And that was the one. That was the other one. It's another. I always find it like as the Julia Roberts thing where there's just a lot of people in that film telling you how good looking Penelope Cruz is, and like if I need to be told, she's not that good looking.
No.
another Spielberg cameo in that one. That's a fun one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But we're talking about Vanilla Sky again, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Which, to be honest, admittedly, I wasn't a huge fan when I saw it theatrically, but as the years have gone on, I really like Vanilla Sky.
Yeah, it's good.
And I actually like it better than Open Your Eyes, which, go figure. I don't know. And
I enjoyed the soundtrack too. I enjoy the song.
Oh, soundtrack is so
Paul
good.
McCartney?
Vanilla Sky.
Yes.
Peter Gabriel.
Peter Gabriel does Vanilla Sky.
Yeah.
I thought Paul McCartney does the soundtrack, but anyway.
What's his name? David Gray, is it? Yeah. I mean, the whole soundtrack is so good. Anyway, the other release that's coming out through Umbrella this week, I only recently revisited this one. I think it was on Binge. Boiling Point with Dennis Hopper and Wesley Snipes. And it's, it's good kind of trash. I think, I saw it when it came out briefly in the cinemas, and I was super excited because I was a big fan of Passenger 57 and Demolition Man. This came out, and I was a bit like, And then I think I tried to watch it on video again, and I was like, Then I watched it on Binge recently, and I was like, I really like this. You can tell there's a better film in there that never quite
I used to love
got
the poster
its
for
way
it.
out. Yeah. Well, anyway, it's coming out on Blu-ray, and it's It's got some special features. I think is this one got a video essay with Andrew Nettie on it?
It's quite possible. I didn't have anything to do with it. I remember Matt, who's one of Umbrella's graphic designers, talking about it. But I've never seen Boiling Point, and
Mutant Designs, is that the name
Mutant
of the
Designs? Yeah, his company. Yeah, but I was like,
that's right, because we were looking at the artwork. It's crazy because it's got swearing.
Yeah. They went
motherfucker or something. On one of the
they went a bit
sides
nuts on it, and you're like, is this allowed? But I asked him, I was like, does Wesley Snipes ever say always bet on black in this one? Because if he doesn't, then that explains why I never saw it.
And who's the female in this film? Female actress? Is it Jean Triplehorn or someone like that? I can't remember now.
If it was her,
She plays like a hooker, and he's got
I doubly would have
like
watched it.
Wesley Snipes kind of got this relationship with her.
My favourite is still... is it Hurricane Smith?
Or is it Rene Russo? I can't remember.
With Carl Weathers, where he has the Vanity's the hooker, but she's clearly like a heroin addict. That's how Powers Booth is kind of controlling her. Is it Powers Booth or is it no? It's Craig T. Nelson, who's the I don't know which is the TV version of the other of those two.
Look at this. Boiling Point had
much
Viggo Mortensen. It had Dan Hedaya.
Lolita Daviditch.
Yep.
There you go.
Tobin Bell, Jonathan Banks.
Who was it?
Lolita Daviditch from Blaze.
Oh yes. Seymour
Cassell. That's an awesome cast.
Oh, it's a great cast. Yeah, no, incredible cast.
Christina Elise from Abel Ferrara's Body Snatchers film.
Was she the Elm Street chick from? No. Was she the Child's Play 2 chick?
I don't remember. I know she was in ER for a while, and she did a bunch of horror movies. But for me, it's always been
there she is.
She's the main chick from.
She's the lead from
Andy's sister, like
the adopted
she's
sister.
Great. Yeah, the adopted sister. Yeah.
Anyway, Jesus.
Oh, he's adopted, but she's not.
Yeah, either way.
Garrett Graham, I think. Is Garrett Graham the real father? I don't know. Maybe they're both adopted. I can't remember. But yeah, they're coming out through Umbrella Entertainment. So that's this week's releases. And look, that's pretty condensed because there's other stuff that's coming out as well. But there's only so much time we can talk about it. And, go figure. But anyway, gentlemen.
Nice one.
I'll let you go, and don't worry, I'll be back next week because there is stuff still coming out this close to Christmas. Who would have thought? An avalanche of titles. You know that they'll stop just prior to Christmas because on Boxing Day nobody wants to discount their new releases. Anyway, gentlemen, until next time,
stay physical.